guys, and welcome to this video tutorial. My name is Evans, and in this tutorial I'll be looking at the Cambridge IGCSE ICT Paper 2. This should have been the May June 2020 exam, but we all know that the exams in May June 2020 were cancelled due to coronavirus, and nevertheless Cambridge made available these papers for us to work through. So without wasting much of our time, I will go straight into what we are supposed to look at today. So you have been supplied with the following source files, and these are the files that have been given to us. So what I'll do is that you'll find a link in the description below this video where you can download these source files. I'll put up the mark scheme, I'll put up the source files, the question paper, as well as maybe the files that I would have worked on for this section. Okay, the answers that I would have worked on. So please check in the description below for the link that where you can download these files. Okay, good. All right, so let's go to task 1, evidence document. Open the file J2120 rather, evidence.rtf, and make sure that your name, center number, and candidate number will appear on every page of this document. So let's go ahead and open the document in question. So we are solving paper 2-1. So we'll go to this one and open up the evidence document, which is this one here. Okay, so our evidence document is opened, and we're supposed to insert our name, center number, and candidate number in the either in the header or footer. We have not been told exactly, so you can decide which one you want to, but I like to go for the header. So insert header, and I'm going to get in a blank 3-column. Somebody was asking me whether it's necessary to have, okay, so somebody was asking me whether it's necessary to have the name type like this, where you have the center number in the middle and the candidate number at the end there. So I would say that if they have not specified that it should be left aligned, right aligned, and stuff like that, even when you do it this way, let me show you. Even if you do it this way, center number, and then followed by the name like that, if they did not specify that you're supposed to put it right aligned or center aligned or left aligned, if you did it this way, this would definitely be perfect. So this is true with things like reports in databases or in Access, depending on what database application you're using anyway. You're not told where to put, whether it should be right aligned or whatever. They just tell you to include your name, center number, and candidate number. So it doesn't matter whether they are that close or whether they are far apart. Okay, so I'll leave it like this for a change, and let's see how far it goes. So I'll go back to the question paper. So we are done with this step, and we're done with this step. So now we are on this step. Save this document in a work area as J2 evidence followed by your candidate number, for example this one, and then just add your candidate number at the end. So we're going to do just that. Go to File, Save As. You will save in the same work area, but at the end of the file you add your candidate number. I'll stick to 0001, and then change it to the format of the file you're using. So this is a document file, so I'll save it as a Word document file. So okay, that should be fine. Next up on the question, okay, we are told we would need to place some evidence document, evidence screenshots in this evidence document. Okay, task 2, you're going to edit a report, and the company uses corporate house style for all its documents. One paragraph style has been created and applied. Additional paragraph styles must be created and applied to the report as instructed. So step number 1, open the file J2120 mtb.rtf. So we'll go ahead and open mtb, and you can tell .rtf, this is the rich text format. So we'll go ahead and double click on it and open it as it is. So that is done. So we are told that the page setup is set to F4 portrait orientation with 2 cm margins. do not make any changes to this. So you can just verify that you've got margins of 2 centimeters and page orientation to A4, rather page orientation to portrait and the page size to, or paper size to A4. So go to layout, check that the margins are on customs here. Go ahead, custom margin, and you can tell that the margins are 2 centimeters. If you come to orientation, it's portrait, and if you come to page, it's A4. So you confirm that actually that is that. So come back to the question paper. We save this document in our work area in the format of the software that we're using, and with the file name mtb study. So we'll go ahead and save it in the software format we are using. So as usual, this will be a Word document file, and we'll just change this to mtb study. Okay, just check the capitalization. It's very important. So mtb study, so everything is uppercase. So okay, mtb study, and save it. Next, we'll go back to the question paper. Evidence 1, place in your evidence document a screenshot to show that this file has been saved. Make sure that there's evidence of the file type. So we'll go back here in this. I like to sort them by date modified so that I have the last thing that I modified up there. So the file that we just saved is up here. Make sure that the format, which is the type, is visible. So you need to enlarge this. So please make sure that this is not as it is. You need to drag on the side like this so that the file type is fully visible. Or if it was not that, just double click on the border between type and size, and it should automatically enlarge. Okay, so then we can go ahead and get our screenshot. I like to select the file that I'm trying to prove that I've saved it, so that the examiner doesn't struggle trying to find where the file is actually there. But now that's fine. So I'll go ahead and well, I don't know why the two files appear to be selected. Okay, so this is fine. So just go ahead, copy this and paste it in your evidence document. I'll do just that, paste it in the evidence document. My mtb study file has been saved. And I'll come back to the question paper. So this is done. Step number 2, place in the header your name, center number, and candidate number left aligned. So there you go again. So this time they've specified where we're supposed to put the names, center number and candidate number, and all of the 3 must be left aligned. And then they have told us to put an automated page number right aligned. So let's go ahead and do just that. So I'll go to insert, and I'll insert in the header, blank 3 column, left aligned. I'll put my name, candidate center number. Okay, that's that. And then on the right side, you're supposed to put an automated page number. So go to quick paths field and find actually page here. Just hit P on your keyboard after you've selected of the fields in here, and select the format that you want for the page numbers. And for a change, I'm just going to go with this format. Yep, and select it like that, and have my page number here. So you can tell it's automated because automatically it increments the page number on the next one to 2 and so on. Okay, so go back to the question paper. Make sure that all the margins match the page, rather all the alignments match the page margins. You do not have to worry about this one if at all you chose the header and footer, the blank 3 column. You don't have to worry about the alignment, because automatically the item on the left side, this is left aligned, this is center aligned, and this last one is right aligned. So there's no need for you to worry if what all they aligned to the margin if you used the blank 3 columns. Okay, so the next thing that you need to look out for is that there should not be any text or placeholders included in the header or footer areas, and the headers are displayed on all pages. So we come back here and make sure that we don't have this placeholder here. So just delete this one, and your document should look as neat as that. Okay, good. Step number 3. So create and store the following styles, basing each on the default paragraph style. And so this is the default paragraph style. Okay, so we'll base them on the default paragraph style. We'll look at what that is. So these are the different house style specifications that we've been given, and we are going just to create them. So what I'm going to do is just to put this on the left side, so that I don't have to switch between screens and so on. I hope you guys are able to see, and I'll put this on the right side just for the time being that I'm creating this, and then I'll get back to the full screens when I'm done creating. Okay, so let's just center it like that so that we can fully see it. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to styles, and I'll have a new style here. Now, if it's in full screen mode and you're under styles, you can just come here and say create a style, or you can come at the bottom here, click there, you open up the style manager, and then at the bottom here it says new style, and you're able to create the style from here. So whichever one is easier for you. Okay, so in my case, we'll create style here, and we'll name this style as MB title. So just take note of the case of the letters, whether it's uppercase or lowercase. Just take note of that. So it's MB uppercase, then title dash title, which is lowercase, and modify, and make sure that it is based on the default. Okay, sometimes the default may not be there, so you may need to base it on the normal. Okay, so if the default is not there, then base it on the normal. Just make sure you don't base it on any other style, otherwise it will inherit other properties that you don't want it to have. So in this case, the default is available, so we'll set it to the default, and then we'll go ahead and add some other properties. So we have sans serif font. I like to use Arial for sans serif font, and then the font size is 36, and it's supposed to be center aligned, and it's supposed to be bold, and it's supposed to be single line spacing, no space after and before. So go to paragraph and set no space after, no space before, and line spacing must be single, and say okay. So done with the first paragraph style. And again, somebody once asked to say, is it okay to when you're creating the styles to have some text? Already you can tell that the moment I tried, the cursor was somewhere around the text, and this text has been changed to the style that we have just set here. So is it necessary for us to create the style whilst we have some text that is going to be affected by this style? Of course, you need to be very careful here, because if you don't apply the style very well, some text may inherit some style which is not okay. So usually what I like to do is just take the cursor at the end of the document, and that's where I'll be playing around with the styles that I'm creating so that I don't affect the existing styles in the document. Of course, at the end of the day, when you're done creating, you can come back and start to reapply the styles again, just to make sure that every text actually gets the correct style. Okay, so I'll go ahead and create the second style. So this time around, I'll use the paragraph manager. Go to the new style name is going to be this time around, let's go MB subhead, and I'll base it on the default paragraph style, and the text is a sans serif, so I'll continue with Arial, and basically just make sure that you are consistent. You're creating professional documents, so make sure that you're consistent. So if you used Arial for your sans serif, stick with Arial for sans serif font throughout the document. If you use, for example, Times New Roman for your serif font, then you have to stick with Times New Roman throughout the document where sans serif font, or rather where a serif font is required. So in this case, I'll stick with Arial as my sans serif font, and it's going to be 18. It is still center aligned. It will be italic and underlined, and then line spacing will be single, space before will be 0, and space after will be 6. So just need to make sure that the space after is 6 and line spacing is single, and then the rest of it, that's all. Good. Then I'll create a new style again, This time around, I'll call this MB body. MB body. And again, this is a serif font. I always like to stick with Times New Roman for my serif font. It is 12 points high and it is justified. So this is justified. Another way that you can apply the alignment, just come to format, then paragraph, and you'll see where it says here on top that alignment. So I'm going to say justified, and single line spacing, okay, it's fine, and so on. So, but before I go that, I just have to cancel this and make sure that this is based on default, okay? Otherwise, you may base it on the previous paragraph, in this case, which was subhead, MB subhead. So base it on default, and then we can go ahead, set justify, and what else? So let's go ahead and set the space after line space. Line spacing, single space after is supposed to be 6, and the rest of it is just as it is. Okay. So that is done. We're done creating the 3 house style specifications, and we just need now to provide. So I'll just zoom in back now to these and go back to the question paper and zoom in full like that. So now evidence, we're supposed to place in our evidence document a screenshot to show that the style settings have been set for the subhead, and we need to make sure that this style is based on the default paragraph style. So again, the emphasis is their default paragraph style. If it's not going to be based on default paragraph style, you may perhaps not get these marks here, okay? So please make sure that you follow the instructions. So let's go ahead and get a screenshot of that. So it's the subhead. We'll right click on it and modify, and then make sure that it is based on default, and then go ahead and get the paragraph settings as well. So you have got 2 settings. In fact, let me just cancel this and bring it here, and then bring up the paragraph setting and bring it here as well. So you need these 2 screens to show the settings that you've done for your MB subhead. So I'll go ahead and just copy this and paste it in my evidence document. This is my evidence number 2. Okay, just paste it like that. That's good. Don't have to waste time cropping this. If you're using a snipping tool or a light shot, you should be able to get only the area that you need, and that should be perfectly fine. Good. So let's go back to the question paper. We're now going to step 4. So display these custom style names for style names as a list in the style manager. Okay. So this is a style or paragraph manager, style manager if you want, and you need to provide screenshot evidence that you have done this. So what you need to do here, you need to come on your style here and click there to bring up this one here. Okay, this is your style manager. So just click here and bring up your style manager. Then go ahead and get evidence of this. You can get it up to here or up to here, doesn't matter, because what's important is that the names of the styles are actually visible. So I'll just get it up there and paste the style here. I'll just resize it a little bit like that. So that should be perfectly fine. The next question is supposed to be question number 5. At the start of the document, enter the title mountain bike study. Okay, mountain bike study. So take note again, mountain, the first letter in each word is uppercase. So at the start of the document, is on top here. So you need to make sure that you hit enter key there to create some space, and then type mountain bike, I think it should be study, mountain bike study, and then we apply the MB title style to this text. So come back here. Already you can tell that it has got a different title which it style which it inherited from here. So we apply now the title to this one. So let's go ahead and find the empty title style. I'm trying to look for title is this one. I was trying to look for title and I couldn't see it. Okay, so we apply the empty title, and the next thing that we need to do is step number 6. Enter your name immediately after the subtitle revised by, and the style name MB subtitle has already been created and stored and applied to the subtitle text. So modify the MB subtitle style so that only following format is applied. But first of all, let's go ahead and add our name to after revised by. So we go ahead and say revised by space Chikasa Evans, and let's go ahead and now modify the style. So we want to modify the subtitle, so right click on it and say modify, and then we need to go ahead, let's see, question paper is here. So we need to set the font to sans serif font, so we'll stick to Arial. It's supposed to be 18 points and right aligned instead. So let's go set these 3 first before we set the other ones. So it's sans serif 18 and right. So it's supposed to be 18, a sans serif font. Remember, we are using Arial for our sans serif font, and it's supposed to be right aligned instead of center. Okay, so that should be okay. So we'll come back here and do the last ones, italic and single 0 0. So we'll go ahead here, go to paragraph, make sure that space after is 0 and single line spacing, and the rest of it should remain by default, and say okay. Okay, so this is done. Now we've been told to place in our evidence document a screenshot to show that MB subtitle style has been modified. So let's go ahead and do just that. So subtitle is this one. We'll modify it, and then we'll make sure that we get also the paragraph settings, and then get these 2 windows, okay, as your evidence for your MB subtitle. Go ahead, copy. So a number of students have asked me which software I use for taking screenshots. So I use a software called Lightshot. Actually, this simple small software here called Lightshot. But alternatively, you can use your snipping tool. It can also perform the same job, or even print screen if you don't have any of these softwares, and just crop out the information that you don't need. So let's go ahead and paste evidence number 4 here and paste it like that. The other thing that you should notice is that we did not change this style based to default, because in the question we were not told to modify and change it to default. Although I don't think you would be penalized, because it was not explicitly stated that you could change that. At the start of the question, they said that all paragraphs must be based on the default paragraph style, but this paragraph style was created initially, and we were only given a few things to modify on it. But if I was to give an honest opinion whether I should change this to the default paragraph style or not, then I should change it to default paragraph style by selecting the default, because it's there. Sometimes the default paragraph style is not on the list, so you better leave it at normal. Okay, so just to clarify these 2 positions in case it ever happened to you in the exam, and you're wondering what you should do. So I'll come back to the question, and we need to apply now the MB body style to the rest of the document. So come here. The rest of the document starts from this paragraph all the way down, including the ones that we modified when we were creating the styles, all the way down. So just apply the body now, which is this one here. Now you need to counter check and make sure that the body style has been applied to everything, excuse me. You need just to counter check and make sure that it has been applied correctly. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and go to the question paper. I have applied the MB body style to the rest of the document, and now we need to apply some square shaped bullets to the text, from increased cardiovascular fitness to levels, anxiety and depression. So we need to find where there is a list from cardio, which is this one, increased cardiovascular fitness, and all the way to reduce stress levels, anxiety and depression. So it's just from here up to there, and we need to apply square shaped bullets. So you come on the bullets and look for square shaped bullets. Okay, if it is not there on the list, you can define a new bullet and you can create, find some symbol if you want, and create a different bullet that you want to have using all these various symbols that would be there. So in this case, we have the square shaped bullet, so I don't need to create one. So this is not what I wanted. I wanted to click here and select the square one, which is this one. So the next thing that we need to do is to make sure that the bullets are indented 2 centimeters from the left margin with a hanging indent applied if text wraps to the second line. So come here, whilst it's still selected, I'll go to paragraph, and I'll make sure that this is 2 centimeters from the left margin, the indentation, and I'll make sure that hanging is by default by 0.3. So this means that the second paragraph or the second line in the paragraph or on the list will have some space away from the margin. Okay, so the other thing that we need to do before we go here is that the list is a single line spacing with not spacing between the lines. So you need to be careful when you do this one and when you do the last one. In fact, let me change the color for the last one so that you distinguish the two. So first of all, you are told that there should not be a line spacing between the list or the list items. So what this means is that you need to remove the 6 spacing that is there, make it 0. Should be single line spacing, and do it like this. So when it is like that, the last point now tells you that there should be a 6-point space after the last item in the list. So then you should come to the last item in the list, just put your cursor there, you don't have to highlight it, and say paragraph, and space after now for the last item. Immediately after the last item, we should have a 6-point space, and take note what happens. There is space that is created between this line now and this line. That's what that question meant. So identifying the 5 subheadings in the document and apply the MB subhead style to each one. Okay, so let's go ahead and identify the 5 subheadings in the document and apply the MB subhead style to each one. So I'm gonna go down here, and we need to start looking out for the subheadings. So I'll go up on top. So the first one is this one. How do you know it will exist as though it were its own paragraph? So this is the second one. This is the third one. I'll scroll down. This is the fourth one. And so all I'm doing is just triple clicking, and I'm selecting, holding my control key on the keyboard and triple click, and I can get that. Double or triple click, I think should work out. So let's go ahead now and apply the subhead. So we'll go ahead and apply the subhead. Just confirm that it's a subhead we're actually applying. Yeah, it's the subhead we're applying. So that looks good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I will continue the step number 10. I'll continue it in the next video. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, to share, to like, to comment on this video, and I'll see you shortly in the next video.